All right, today we're going to crack open what might be the oldest money secret in the world. Seriously.
Okay, think about it. We've got crypto, AI that picks stocks for us, a million different financial apps. We have more tools than anyone in history, right? And yet, why does it feel like most people are still broke? It's a huge paradox. The answer, weirdly enough, might not be in some new tech, but thousands of years in the past.
So let's take a trip. We're going way back to ancient Babylon. This place was the wealthiest, most incredible city of its time. And what's wild is that while our gadgets have changed, the actual fundamental laws of building wealth, they haven't changed one bit.
So our story centers around this guy named Arkid. He started out as just a humble scribe, barely getting by. But he somehow became the richest man in all of Babylon. So how'd he do it? Did he invent something? Win the lottery? Nope. He learned a single powerful secret from a wise old moneylender named Algamish. And this secret, it's so simple it almost sounds too obvious.
And here it is. This is the whole foundation for everything that follows. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. Now, at first, Arkad was confused. He was probably thinking, wait, isn't all of it mine? But Algamish laid out a really tough truth. Nope, it's not. Not really. Not until you make a conscious choice to actually claim your share for yourself.
And that simple idea leads us straight into the first law of wealth. Forget about risky, get-rich-quick schemes. This is all about playing defense first. It's about building a fortress for your future, one brick at a time, just by keeping what you already earn.
So what's the actual rule? It's right here. 10%. Just a tenth of everything that comes in. And listen, this isn't the money you try to save after all your bills are paid. No. This is the very first bill you pay. You pay yourself. It doesn't matter if you make $100 or $100,000. That first 10% is yours.
I mean, just think about it. When you get paid, who gets their money first? Your landlord, the grocery store, the cell phone company? You're paying everybody else for what they provide. This ancient idea flips that on its head. It asks, when do you pay yourself for all your hard work? It's just a small shift in your thinking. Treat yourself like you're the most important person you owe money to, and pay that bill first.
Okay, I can hear you now. There's no way I can live on just 90% of my income. And look, the wisdom from Babylon addresses this head-on. The thing is, our necessary expenses, they have this weird habit of always growing to match whatever we make, unless we put our foot down. The real trick is getting brutally honest about the difference between what you truly need and what you just want. That's the secret to making that 10% rule actually work.
All right, on to law number 2. Keeping your gold, that's just step 1. Money that's just sitting there is like dead weight. The whole point is to put that saved money to work, to turn it from a pile of coins into a working army.
And the Babylonians had this really cool way of thinking about it. Imagine every single dollar you save is a worker. That worker goes out and earns you more money. It's children, which is basically interest or returns. But then, those children go out and have their own children. See what's happening? This is their ancient way of describing compound interest. And that, my friends, is the real engine that creates wealth.
And that really clarifies the whole point of building this army. You're not just saving up to buy something like a new car or a bigger TV. The real goal, the end game, is to build an income stream, a river of gold that flows to you whether you're working, sleeping, or on a beach somewhere. That right there is what true financial freedom looks like.
Okay, so you're keeping your gold, you're growing it. Now comes what might be the most important part of all. You have to guard it. Building wealth is slow, it's methodical, but losing it, man, that can happen fast. A single dumb decision can knock the whole thing over. This law is all about managing risk.
And of course, Arkad learned this lesson the hard way. He took all his savings, all the money he'd painstakingly put aside, and he gave it to a friend, a bricklayer. The bricklayer was going on a trip and promised he'd buy some rare jewels and sell them for a massive profit. So what do you think happened? The bricklayer, who knew absolutely nothing about jewels, got totally ripped off. He bought a bunch of worthless glass. And just like that, Arkad's entire savings, poof, gone.
The lesson here is just so brutally simple, but we ignore it all the time. Don't trust a bricklayer to buy jewels. I mean, today, this is the exact same thing as taking a hot tip on some meme stock from a random person on the internet. Come on, if you need medical advice, you go to a doctor, right? So why on earth would you trust your life savings to someone who isn't an expert in money? You have to seek out advice from people who actually know what they're doing.
This all boils down to one core concept: prudence. It is so easy to get caught up in the excitement of how much you could make, the return on your money. But the number one priority, always, has to be the safety of your original investment, the return of your money. You have to protect your principal at all costs. Don't let the promise of some insane profit trick you into losing your entire army.
So when you put all these pieces together, a really clear path starts to take shape. The world around us has changed in unimaginable ways, but these fundamental laws for building and keeping wealth, they haven't. We just love to overcomplicate things with all the modern noise.
And you know, there's one last piece of wisdom that really fuels all the others. Think about it. There's a limit to how much you can cut your spending, right? But there is absolutely no limit, no ceiling on your ability to earn more. The single greatest investment you will ever make is in yourself, in your own skills, your own knowledge. That is the one asset that nobody can ever take away from you.
So really, it all comes down to these 4 simple but honestly profound steps. 1. Pay yourself first, always. 2. Get your spending under control by knowing the difference between a need and a desire. 3. Put your savings to work, make it multiply. And 4. Protect what you've built by only taking advice from people who know what they're talking about. That's it. That's the ancient blueprint.
Look, the tools have changed, for sure. We've gone from clay tablets to digital ledgers, but the principles, they are absolutely eternal. This isn't just a bunch of financial tips. It's a 4,000-year-old philosophy for living a prosperous life. So the only real question left is, are you ready to actually use it?